Hey folks, Yasin here, back again with a new video for you today. Today's video is another Star Wars video, all about Lucasfilm, George Lucas's former company that he had sold to Disney in 2012. Yeah, um, this is going to be another multi-part video. I don't know exactly how many parts I'm gonna split this up into, but um, as I move along, you'll know. Please like this video, please share it. Please like this video as well as all my other videos and all my shorts. Please share them, please comment on them. Please subscribe to my channel and please click the bell for new notifications from me. So here goes. Lucasfilm Limited, LLC, is an American film and television production company founded by filmmaker George Lucas in December 10th, 1971 in San Rafael, California, and later moved to San Francisco in 2005. It is best known for creating and producing the Star Wars and Indiana Jones franchises, as well as its leadership in developing special effects, sound, and computer animation for films. Since 2012, Lucasfilm has been a subsidiary of the Walt Disney Studios Company, who also owns former Lucasfilm subsidiary Pixar. We all know that Disney has made multiple Pixar movies like Toy Story, Finding Nemo, Brave, Monsters Inc., and so on. The company's films, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, and Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, are all among the 50 highest grossing films of all time, with The Force Awakens becoming the highest grossing film in the United States and Canada. On October 30th, 2012, Disney acquired Lucasfilm for $4.5 billion in the form of cash and in stock, equivalent to about 6 billion today. Lucasfilm is currently one of 5 live-action film studios with the Walt Disney within the Walt Disney Studios, alongside Walt Disney Pictures, Marvel Studios, 20th Century Studios, almost said 20th Century Fox, 20th Century Studios, and Searchlight Pictures. Lucasfilm was founded by filmmaker George Lucas in December 10th, 1971 in San Rafael, California, and was incorporated as Lucasfilm Limited on September 12th, 1977. In the mid 1970s, the company's offices were located on the Universal Studios lot. Lucas founded the Star Wars Corporation Inc. as a subsidiary to control various legal and financial aspects of Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope, including copyright and sequel and merchandising rights. It also produced the 1978 Star Wars Holiday Special for 20th Century Fox Television. That year, Lucas hired Los Angeles-based real estate specialist Charles Weber to manage the company, telling him that he could keep the job as long as he made money. Lucas wanted to focus on making independent films for the company, but the company gradually became enlarged from 5 employees to almost 100, increasing in middle management and running up costs. In 1980, after Weber asked Lucas for $50 million to invest in other companies and suggested that they sell the Skywalker Ranch to do so, Lucas fired Weber and had to let half of the Los Angeles staff go. By the same year, the corporate subsidiary had been by that same year the corporate subsidiary had been discontinued and its business was absorbed into the various divisions of Lucasfilm. It was the same year that when the second Star Wars film, Episode 5 The Empire Strikes Back, was released in cinemas as an official sequel to the original 1977 film. As many of us know, The Empire Strikes Back was filmed and released in 1980. It was the same year when I read that part already. Between 1981 and 1989, three Indiana Jones films, stories by George Lucas and directed by Steven Spielberg, were released. While Star Wars Episode 6 Return of the Jedi was in production, Lucas decided not to pursue further Star Wars films. Despite the third film achieving similar classic status to its two predecessors, Lucas was unhappy. Despite the third film achieving similar classic status to its two predecessors, George was unhappy with the cinema presentation of Return of the Jedi. He created the company THX, which was unveiled on May 20th, 1983. Lucasfilm produced the John Coty directed animated film Twice Upon a Time in 1983. 1985 saw the release of Paul Schrader's Mishima: A Life in Four Chapters. The next year, Jim Henson's Labyrinth and an adaptation of Marvel Comics' Howard the Duck was released. Ron Howard directed the fantasy film Willow in 1988, story by Lucas. In the same year, the children's animated film The Land Before Time was released. From 1992 to 1993, The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, created by Lucas, television series was produced. In 1992, after viewing an early computer-generated imagery, or CGI, test created by Industrial Light and Magic for Jurassic Park, Lucas announced his intentions to produce a Star Wars prequel trilogy. In 1994, the long-delayed Radioland Murders was released. In 1995, Lucas began pre-production on the prequel trilogy. The trilogy took 10 years to make, ending with the release of the third prequel film Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, in 2005. The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones had received mixed reviews, while Revenge of the Sith received positive reviews. In addition to the prequels, Lucas released the special editions for the Star Wars original trilogy films. In 1997, 2004, and 2011 for VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray, which were met with increasingly negative reception. Of course, I'm having read this, I assume it's because that they weren't as good as the original productions of said movies between 77 and 83. In 1987, the company, which at the time was expanding from 3 to 5 films a year on its own, decided to increased making its Northern California production facilities available to other filmmakers. In 1989, Lucasfilm launched a new subsidiary, Lucasfilm Entertainment Group, later called LucasArts Entertainment Company, to consolidate all four units, which are Industrial Light and Magic, Lucasfilm Commercial Productions, Lucasfilm Games, and Sprocket Systems. By the way, I'll also be talking about the other subsidiaries of Lucasfilm, Lucas Arts, aka Lucasfilm Games, um, and Lucasfilm Animation in future videos. In 2005, Lucasfilm opened a new studio in Singapore focusing on animation. That same year, Lucasfilm Animation commenced production of a 3D animated Star Wars television series called Star Wars The Clone Wars, with key production team members including executive producer Catherine Winder, supervising director Dave Filoni, head of Lucasfilm Animation Singapore, Chris Kubsch, Kubsch. Don't know how you pronounce that name. Please tell me below in the comments bar. And Henry Gilroy. Primary production took place at Lucasfilm Animation's Singapore studio, airing on Cartoon Network between 2008 and 2013. The Clone Wars was well received by fans and was nominated for several film awards, including the Daytime Emmy Awards and the Annie Awards. In January 2012, Lucas announced his retirement from producing large-scale blockbuster films and instead refocusing his career on smaller, independently budgeted features. In June of that same year, it was announced that Kathleen Kennedy, a long-term collaborator with Steven Spielberg and executive producer of the Indiana Jones films, had been appointed as co-chair of Lucasfilm. It was reported that Kennedy would work alongside Lucas, who would remain chief executive and serve as co-chairman for at least 1 year, after which she would succeed him as the company's chairperson, which she did in June of 2013. On July 8, 2012, Lucasfilm's marketing online and licensing units, oh my goodness, bleh, 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 moved into the new Letterman Digital Arts Center, located in the Presidio in San Francisco. It shares the complex with Industrial Light and Magic. Lucasfilm had planned on an expansion at the Skywalker Ranch in Marin County, California. Lucasfilm had planned an expansion at the Skywalker Ranch in Marin County, California, but shelved the plan in 2012 due to opposition from neighbors. Skywalker Sound remains the only Lucasfilm division based at Skywalker Ranch. On September 5, 2012, Micheline Chow, Chau, or Cho, I don't know how you pronounce that, who served as president and COO, Chief Operating Officer, I assume that is, of Lucasfilm for 2 decades, announced that she was retiring. With her departure, senior executives for each of the Lucasfilm divisions, did I say executives or executive? Senior executives for each of the Lucasfilm divisions would report directly to Kathleen Kennedy. Chow was credited for keeping the Lucasfilm and Star Wars brands strong, especially through animation spin-offs and licensing initiatives. Discussion, discussions Discussions relating to the possibility of the Walt Disney Company signing a distribution deal with Lucasfilm officially began in May 2011. After, meet, af- after a meeting rather that George Lucas had with the Disney CEO Bob Iger during the reopening of the Star Tours, the adventures continue attraction at Disney's Hollywood studios. Lucas told Iger that he was considering retirement and planned to sell Lucasfilm as well as the Star Wars and Indiana Jones franchises. On October 30th, 2012, Disney announced a deal to acquire Lucasfilm for $4.5 billion, with approximately half in cash and half in shares of Disney stock. Lucasfilm had previously collaborated with Disney's Walt Disney Imagineering division to create theme park attractions centered on Star Wars and Indiana Jones for various Walt Disney parks and resorts worldwide. Kathleen Kennedy, co-chairwoman of Lucasfilm, became president of said company, reporting to the then Walt Disney Studios chairman Alan Horn. Additionally, she serves as the brand manager for Star Wars, working directly with Disney's global lines of business to build, further integrate, and maximize the value of this global franchise. Kennedy serves as producer on new Star Wars. I should have my microphone with me. Kennedy serves as producer on new Star Wars feature films, with George Lucas originally announced as serving as creative consultant. The company also announced the future release of new Star Wars films, starting with Episode 7, The Force Awakens, in 2015. Under the deal, Disney acquired ownership of Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Lucasfilm's operating businesses in live-action film production, consumer products, video games, animation, visual effects, and audio post-production. Disney also acquired Lucasfilm's portfolio of entertainment technologies. The intent was for Lucasfilm employees to remain in their current locations. Star Wars merchandising would begin under Disney in the fiscal year 2014, starting with Star Wars Rebels. Certain products will be co-branded with the Disney name, akin to what Disney had done with Pixar. On December 4th, 2012, the Disney-Lucasfilm merger was approved by the Federal Trade Commission, allowing the acquisition to be finalized without dealing with antitrust problems. On December 18th, 2012, Lucasfilm converted from a corporation to a limited liability company, changing its name to Lucasfilm Limited, LLC, in the process. On December 21st, 2012, Disney completed the acquisition and Lucasfilm became a wholly owned subsidiary of Disney. At the time of Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm, 20th Century Fox, the original distributor of the first 6 Star Wars films, were to retain the physical and theatrical distribution rights to both the prequel trilogy and episodes 5 and 6 of the original trilogy until May 2020. along with full distribution rights for the original 1977 film in perpetuity. Lucasfilm retained the television and digital distribution rights to Star Wars episodes 1 through 6, with the exception with exception to episode 4. On March 20th, 2019, Disney officially acquired 20th Century Fox after acquiring its owner, 20th, 21st Century Fox, thus consolidating all the Lucasfilm, all the distribution, bleh, 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 all the distribution and ownership rights to all the films. Under its umbrella. In December 2013, Lucas bleh, 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 all over my phone, all over the uh, in December 2013, Walt Disney Studios purchased the distribution and marketing rights to future Indiana Jones films from Paramount Pictures, although the latter studio would retain the distribution rights to the first 4 films and would receive financial participation from any additional films. This would make the 5th installment, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. This would make the 5th installment, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, the first film in the franchise and Lucas's first film overall to be co-produced by Walt Disney Pictures. In early 2013, Disney CEO Bob Iger disclosed Lucasfilm's plans to release standalone Star Wars films alongside the sequel trilogy over a 6-year period. This strategy aims to expand the Star Wars universe beyond the main saga. The first of these standalone films, Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, premiered in 2016, followed by Solo: A Star Wars Story 2 years later, in 2018. On April 3, 2013, LucasArts, the video game development division of Lucasfilm, underwent closure, resulting in layoffs for most of its staff. Despite this, LucasArts maintained a small team to handle video game licensing. Disney subsequently entered an exclusive agreement with Electronic Arts to produce Star Wars games for the core gaming market for a decade. LucasArts retained licensing rights, while Disney Interactive Studios focused on casual gaming. Due to lower than expected sales, EA's exclusive deal was halted in January 2021, more than 3 years before their contract was set to expire on October 14, 2024. Lucasfilm was rumored to be courting either Ubisoft or Activision to either replace EA or share rights to develop Star Wars games with them. But after April 3, 2023, EA left the franchise altogether, with mixed reactions from the fans. Side note, some years ago I had made videos on EA and their involvement with the Star Wars Battlefront games and how only 2 games were distributed in part of that developer. In January 2014, it was announced that Dark Horse Comics would be losing its license for Star Wars comics to Marvel Comics, another Disney subsidiary, in 2015. That April, Lucasfilm announced that the Star Wars Expanded Universe content would be rebranded as Star Wars Legends, with only selected works, including the 6 episodic films and The Clone Wars, deemed canon. And additionally, a new line of canon Star Wars books began publication under the Lucasfilm Story Group. Lucasfilm continued continued its expansion. Lucasfilm continued its expansion globally, opening its regional headquarters in Singapore in 2014. This facility housed staff from Lucasfilm, the Walt Disney Company, Southeast Asia, and ESPN Asia Pacific. Meanwhile, between 2015 and 2018, Lucasfilm released several cinematic films, including critical and commercial successes like Episode 7 The Force Awakens and Rogue One, alongside the less successful Solo. After the mixed performance of Solo at the box office, Disney CEO Bob Iger confirmed a slowdown in release of new Star Wars films. Lucasfilm moved its focus on developing content for Disney Plus by launching several programs, including the successful series The Mandalorian series on Disney Plus. In November 2023, Dave Filoni revealed that he was promoted to serve as the chief creative officer at the studio and would be directly involved in the planning of future Star Wars films and Star Wars in other series. That's where I'm going to cut it for now, folks. In my next video, I'll talk about Lucasfilm's company structure. But for now, that's all. Once again, please like this video as well as all my other videos and all my shorts. Please share them, please comment on them, please subscribe to my channel, and please click the bell for new notifications from me. But that's all for now. Bye.